Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Emily Carter. If you're a man over 50, I want you to take a moment and think about a time when you felt truly full of life. Maybe it was the energy you had to play with your kids in the backyard, the confidence you felt in your prime, or that simple, unspoken connection you shared with your partner. Now let me ask you a question, and I want you to be honest with yourself. Does that feeling seem a little distant now? The silent struggle men over 50 facing. I recently spoke with a gentleman, let's call him Robert. He's 62, a retired firefighter, and a grandfather to 3 wonderful kids. He told me, Dr. Carter, I've always been the rock of my family. The one who could fix anything, lift anything, and handle anything. But lately, I just don't feel like myself. The energy isn't there. The drive, it's faded. My wife is incredibly understanding, but it feels like a part of me is missing. Robert's story isn't unique. It's a silent struggle that millions of men over 50, 60, and 70 are facing right now. It's that quiet fear that creeps in when you realize your body isn't keeping up with your spirit. It's the frustration of feeling like you're losing a piece of your manhood, and with it, a piece of your independence. This isn't just about the bedroom. It's about your overall vitality. It's about having the energy to get on the floor and play with your grandkids, the stamina to enjoy a long walk with your partner, and the confidence that comes from feeling strong and capable in your own skin. NIF. Any of this sounds familiar? I want you to know 2 things. First, you are not alone. And second, this is not the end of the story. It's just a new chapter. And today, we're going to learn how to write a powerful, vibrant next chapter together. We're not going to talk about magic pills or gimmicks. We're going to talk about real, simple, and delicious foods that can help you reclaim your drive and improve your blood flow naturally. So please, stay with me. What's really happening to your body after 50? Before we get to the solutions, it's important to understand what's actually happening inside your body. Many men think a decline in drive is just a part of getting older, an inevitable fact of life. But as a doctor, I can tell you it's more complex than that. We are not old and stupid. We are wise enough to understand our bodies and take action. There are 2 key players in this story. The first is testosterone. As men age, their testosterone levels gradually decline. Think of testosterone as the engine for many masculine traits. It influences everything from muscle mass and bone density to, yes, your libido or drive. When this engine isn't running at full power, you start to notice. NTHE second, and perhaps even more important player, is a tiny molecule called nitric oxide. Now, this is a name you'll want to remember. Nitric oxide is a vasodilator, which is a fancy way of saying it helps relax and widen your blood vessels. Why does that matter? Because healthy blood flow is everything. It's how oxygen and nutrients get delivered to every single part of your body, from your heart and your brain to your most intimate areas. When you were younger, your body was a nitric oxide producing powerhouse. But as we get older, our ability to produce it slows down. Poor diet, lack of exercise, and stress can slow it down even further. When your blood vessels are narrower and less flexible, it's like trying to drive water through a kinked hose. The flow is weak, and things just don't work as they should. This directly impacts your energy, your stamina, and your erectile function. NSO. The problem isn't just getting old. The problem is a combination of declining testosterone and, crucially, reduced nitric oxide production, leading to poor blood flow. But here's the hopeful part. We can directly support our body's ability to produce nitric oxide through the foods we eat. Let's start with the first one, the surprising power of leafy greens. And when you think of foods for male vitality, I bet a spinach salad isn't the first thing that comes to mind. But I want you to reconsider. Leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula, and Swiss chard are nutritional powerhouses for a very specific reason. They are packed with nitrates. Now, don't confuse these with the unhealthy nitrates found in processed meats. The nitrates in vegetables are your best friend. When you eat these greens, your body cleverly converts those nitrates directly into the nitric oxide we just talked about. It's like giving your body the raw materials it needs to open up those blood vessels and get things flowing again. I had a patient, David, who was 68 and very skeptical. He loved his steak and potatoes and told me, Dr. Carter, a rabbit food diet isn't for me. I didn't ask him to give up his steak. I just challenged him to start every dinner with a small spinach and arugula salad, dressed with a little olive oil and lemon. A few weeks later, he came back to my office with a different look in his eye. He said he felt lighter, had more energy in the afternoons, and even noticed a significant improvement in his circulation. He wasn't expecting it, but by simply adding a handful of greens to his daily routine, he was directly fueling his body's blood flow engine. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can toss a handful of spinach into your morning omelet, blend some kale into a smoothie, or simply have that small salad before your main meal. It's a small step with a powerful, scientifically backed impact, and the king of fruits for male vitality. Let's move on to something a little sweeter. If leafy greens are the foundation, then berries are the vibrant, delicious bonus. I'm talking about blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries. I often call these the king of fruits for men's health. Here's why. Berries are loaded with compounds called flavonoids, which are powerful antioxidants that give them their beautiful, deep colors. One specific type of flavonoid, called anthocyanin, is particularly beneficial for your blood vessels. And scientific studies have shown a strong link between a diet rich in flavonoids and better cardiovascular health. In fact, a large study from Harvard University found that men who regularly ate flavonoid-rich foods, like berries, had a lower risk of developing erectile dysfunction. The researchers believe it's because these compounds help protect and improve the function of your blood vessels, supporting that all-important blood flow. Think of it this way. Over the years, your blood vessels can suffer from oxidative stress, which is like a form of rust. The antioxidants in berries help to clean up that rust, keeping your circulatory system smooth and efficient. One of my clients, a 72-year-old named George, started adding a cup of mixed berries to his morning oatmeal. He said it was the easiest change he'd ever made. Not only did it taste great, but he told me he felt a renewed sense of pep in his step. It's a simple, enjoyable habit. A handful on your yogurt, blended in a smoothie, or just as a healthy dessert. It's a sweet treat that's working hard for your health, and the heart-healthy fat that boosts drive-in. For a long time, fat was the enemy. We were told to avoid it at all costs. But we now know that the right kind of fats are not only good for you, they are essential for hormone production and heart health. This brings us to our next category, nuts and seeds. Specifically, I want to highlight walnuts and pumpkin seeds. Let's start with walnuts. They are a fantastic source of an amino acid called L-arginine. Your body uses L-arginine as another building block to create nitric oxide. So just like the nitrates in leafy greens, the L-arginine in walnuts gives your body another pathway to improve blood flow. Plus, walnuts are rich in healthy omega-3 fatty acids, which are famous for their heart protective benefits. Now let's talk about pumpkin seeds. These little seeds are one of the best natural sources of zinc. Zinc is a mineral that is absolutely critical for men's health. It plays a vital role in the production of testosterone. If your zinc levels are low, your body simply can't produce enough testosterone, which, as we discussed, is a key driver of your libido. And I remember a patient, Tom, 65, who was worried about his declining drive. His diet was generally healthy, but he wasn't eating any nuts or seeds. I suggested he keep a small bag of walnuts and pumpkin seeds on his desk for an afternoon snack. He replaced his usual crackers or cookies with this simple mix. It was a small change, but it provided his body with the exact nutrients it was missing, the L-arginine for blood flow and the zinc for testosterone support. It's a win-win, the dynamic duo for blood flow and beyondin'. We've covered some incredible foods, but I want to finish our list with a dynamic duo that works wonders together for your heart, your brain, and your vitality. I'm talking about fatty fish and, believe it or not, dark chocolate. And first, let's talk about fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and herring. These fish are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. You've probably heard about omega-3s for heart health, and for good reason. They help to lower inflammation, reduce blood pressure, and keep your arteries clear and healthy. Think of your circulatory system as a network of highways. Inflammation is like a constant traffic jam. Omega-3s act like the traffic police, clearing up the congestion and allowing blood to flow freely and efficiently to every destination in your body. Aiming for 2 servings of fatty fish per week is a fantastic goal for any man over 50. Now for the one everyone gets excited about, dark chocolate. Yes, you read that right. High-quality dark chocolate, we're talking 70% cacao or higher, is another excellent source of those amazing flavonoids we found in berries. The flavonoids in cocoa, called flavonols, have been shown to improve blood vessel flexibility and function, once again supporting the production of nitric oxide. And a small square of dark chocolate after dinner isn't an indulgence. It's a smart, pleasurable way to support your cardiovascular health. It satisfies your sweet tooth while actively helping your blood vessels relax and widen. NSO, you have the omega-3s from fish cleaning up the system, and the flavonols from dark chocolate helping the system to relax and expand. That's what makes them such a powerful duo. It's proof that food that is good for you can and should be delicious. Your simple 7-day drive and flow meal plan. I know this is a lot of information, and you might be wondering, how do I put this all together? I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I want you to feel empowered. So let's create a simple plan. This isn't a strict diet. It's a template of ideas to show you how easy it is to incorporate these foods into your week. Breakfast option 1. Oatmeal topped with a cup of mixed berries and a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. Option 2. A 2-egg omelet with a large handful of spinach wilted in. Lunch and option 1. A large salad with grilled chicken or chickpeas. Make sure your base is a mix of leafy greens like spinach and arugula. Top with some walnuts for crunch. Option 2. A salmon salad sandwich on whole wheat bread. You can use canned salmon for an easy and affordable option. And dinner and option 1. Baked salmon with a side of steamed vegetables and quinoa. Start the meal with a small side salad. Option 2. Lean steak or chicken with a generous side of sautéed kale and garlic. End snacks and dessert and afternoon snack. A handful of walnuts and pumpkin seeds. An evening treat. 1 or 2 small squares of high-quality dark chocolate. 70% cacao or more. Here's a sample day and morning. Start with a berry and pumpkin seed oatmeal. Lunch. Have the big, leafy green salad with some protein. Afternoon. Grab that handful of walnuts when you feel a dip in energy. Dinner. On that one day, you've included all 5 of our powerhouse foods. You don't have to be perfect. Start by adding 1 or 2 of these foods into your daily routine. The key is consistency. Small, steady changes are what lead to lasting results. You have the power to do this. End conclusion and hopeful wrap-up. We've covered a lot today, from the science of blood flow to the simple power of a handful of berries. But the most important thing I want you to take away from our time together is a feeling of hope. NFOR. Too long, men have been told that losing their vitality is just a part of aging, that you should just accept it. I am here to tell you that is not the truth. Your body is a remarkable thing, and it has an incredible capacity to heal and rejuvenate when given the right fuel. NTHE journey to reclaiming your drive and energy doesn't start with a prescription pad. It starts in your kitchen. It starts with the choice to add a handful of spinach to your plate, to snack on walnuts instead of chips, to enjoy a piece of salmon for dinner. You are not defined by a number. Your age does not dictate your potential for a vibrant, active, and fulfilling life. Think of Robert, David, and George. They made small changes and rediscovered a part of themselves they thought was lost. You are just getting started. Be patient with yourself, be kind to your body, and know that you have the power to build a healthier, more energetic future, one delicious meal at a time. NT, thank you so much for joining me today. God bless you.